everyone, how's it going? It's that nerd Ryan here, and today we're going to talk about the Incredible Hulk. So this is, in my opinion, the most out there MCU film where it doesn't feel MCU, and it's for obvious reasons, obviously. Multiple obvious reasons that we're going to talk about. First being that this is the first time where a 100% back in the day major character was replaced by a different actor. Because when you think about it, Rhodey didn't become major really until Age of Ultron / Civil War. He was more of a side character. Also at that time, Don Cheadle played multiple times for Rhodey, to the point where he is Rhodey. But Hulk was supposed to be, or is, a main Avenger. So Edward Norton was supposed to be in the Avengers, along with, if things played out the same way, he would have been in Avengers, Age of Ultron, the end of Iron Man 3, Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame, She-Hulk. He hasn't really shown up in any other Phase 4, has he? Oh, end credits of Shang-Chi. So yeah, this was a major player that got recasted. Mind you, I think it's a wonderful recast. I think Mark Ruffalo is a great Hulk, or great Bruce Banner. After watching this movie, I kind of wish they kept the Hulk a little bit the same, and we'll get into that. But this also did not feel like an MCU movie. I know that, like, back then, they were trying to define what MCU movie is because they only had Iron Man and the Hulk to go off of. But this honestly kind of had the same vibe of, like, the early Punisher movies or, like, Daredevil, stuff like that. Not, like, the polished MCU feel that we now have nowadays. So it did feel very awkward watching this movie and trying to remember this is in the MCU. There's a lot of setup too that is finally getting paid off now and in the next couple years, and it's just insane to think that, like, we're finally getting some tie-ins for a movie that's been out since 2009. So let's just sum up the plot really quick. So this is a soft reboot of the original Hulk movie, which I've never seen. We'll get to that hopefully soon. But yeah, it's a soft reboot, so we don't get to see the origin story really. We get to see it in the opening credits. But Bruce has been on the run from the U.S. government for years. He's hiding in Brazil, where he works at a bottling factory. He's living a low-profile life, trying not to cause any arguments, trying to learn how to control his heart rate, trying to learn how to fight without having to be the Hulk, stuff like that. So, as he's working one day, he accidentally cuts his finger and it hits a bottle, and we get to see more of his life. He's also trying to find a cure by talking to somebody called Mr. Blue, but one of the bottles gets shipped that had his blood in it, and he was easily found by the government, who brought in who was supposed to be the best soldier in the world, Ivan Polanski, who grew up in, or was born in Russia, grew up in the U.S. or United Kingdoms, and is being borrowed by United Kingdom Special Forces. So they go to capture Banner, who, during a series of unfortunate events during this, turns into the Hulk, attacks everybody. Polanski sees what the Hulk is, and he wants to be like that. So they start experimenting on him, giving him basically the same powers of Captain America at this point, but low dosage-wise. Like, he has higher limits, or lower limits than Captain America does. And Bruce makes it back to the United States, where he tries to find his former love interest, played by Liv Tyler, Betty Brant, and they go and try to, or not Betty Brant, that's Spider-Man, Betty Ross. But yeah. So anyways, they go and they find this Mr. Blue, who ends up being, he's going to be the leader in Thunderbolts. I forgot his actual name in the movie. But yeah, he's trying to help Bruce not Hulk out. But before they meet him, there's another attack by the military where Bruce turns to Hulk again and abducts Betty and beats up Polanski again, who gets more of the serum put into him and has him heal up perfect. But yeah, so they run away. Then they meet Mr. Blue, who experiments on him and then makes sure that Bruce's one episode was definitely, one Hulk episode was definitely canceled. And they're not sure if it's going to work for like permanent or if it's per episode. And Polanski and the military, of course, finds where he's at and begins to attack. We also find out that Mr. Blue has a bunch of cloned copies of Bruce's blood somehow. Bruce wants him to destroy it, but of course he's not going to, because think of the Nobel Peace Prize and everything like that. So as they attack, Bruce gets knocked out because he, one, was caught off guard, and two, just had that antidote put in him. And Polanski takes some of Bruce's blood with Mr. Blue's help and turns into the Abomination, also knocking Mr. Blue over, putting Bruce's blood dripping down from the syringe, or from the blood bag, into his open wound, thus making him the leader, who we'll finally get to see in 2024. I believe 2024. But yeah. So then Abomination goes on a rampage. Bruce jumps out of the plane, becoming the Hulk. This fight ensues. Hulk wins, obviously. And roll credits, but just before that, he fights Abomination, wins, and runs away. And then before credits roll, we get the confirmation that Hulk will be in the Avengers. So with that, I am going to start criticizing the movie, because honestly, this is not a good movie in my opinion. Some of the action scenes are pretty cool. The Hulk, I believe, is actually the best part about the movie, is the Hulk, not Edward Norton's Bruce Banner, but how they portray the Hulk in this. He is a monster. He's able to, basically wreak havoc while he fights and everything. And this is something we really don't get to see. Honestly, after this movie, you could argue after Age of Ultron, but he is very brutal and deadly in this movie, while afterwards he's kind of dumbed down and almost made a joke character, until Endgame, where he is smartened up, but still made to be a joke character, I felt like. It's kind of a shame to kind of see Bruce Banner get better, acting-wise, and then Hulk get worse, character suicide-wise. So that I did feel disappointed with, that for future MCU films, that Hulk was kind of made into this joke. They kind of did the same thing to Thor. But yeah, they do a great arc with the Hulk, but they kind of make him a joke. I did feel like Edward Norton playing Bruce Banner was not as good as Mark Ruffalo, but also I feel like the worst part of this movie is anything with Betty Ross. The way Liv Tyler portrays her, she is very one note. She has one scene where she raises her voice, and it's made to be a joke, but literally everything else she talks about this high and whispers, and it doesn't change at all. I mean, come on, your dad is able to wail and scream and everything like that. You should be able to at least enunciate your voice a little bit different throughout the movie. I also felt like Polanski was kind of a cool bad guy. Obviously, Thunderbolt Ross was a good actor on this too. William Hurt. It's funny because I'm playing Modern Warfare 2 to get ready to review that for you guys, and it's like this is. I feel like General Shepard was kind of based off of William Hurt, but anyways, it's just interesting how this movie does not feel like Marvel. And it's weird to say because it's one of the founding MCU films, but it feels the least like it. It feels more, like I said, like early 2000s movies. But yeah, so I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that Nerd Ryan.